affects African Americans. I believe it's nearly 1 in 4 Kentucky black voters cannot vote due to their laws being extremely strict. That's triple the national rate. And so if an African American receives this, and it's in the known universe of the world that people can lose their voting rights. Yep. It is possible. It's not an unheard of thing. Right. I could see that creating a very misleading impression and intimidating people because they may not know if they have the right to vote.
And so this, so part of the challenge, I think, on the of whether or not tactics like this are suppressive, right? It goes back in part to what I was talking about before. So in Georgia, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution is saying that the African-American share of early ballots is up 13% over 2010, right? So you see this increase over the last midterm, although certainly not at the rate of the 2008 or 2012. And the Times-Picayune out of New Orleans is saying that Louisiana early voting is also up substantially, up over 2010, although certainly, again, not where it was in the presidential election years of 2008 and 2012. So on the one hand, we have what feel like efforts to be suppressive, but then we have what appear to be behaviors that are doing exactly the opposite, that are responding by showing up in higher numbers. What are we to do with information like that?
Well, I think, I think a lot of strategists are of two minds, right? On the one hand, we know that the work of the Georgia Project, the work of organizations like Project South in Georgia, and in Atlanta specifically, and moving outward, are actually really mobilizing people, right? And so they're feeling the weight of sort of forces, especially the Secretary of State, working against them, so that will motivate them to come out. That's on the positive side. On the negative side, we do know that some people actually feel so disenfranchised, so disaffected, so beaten down, because it does feel like the entire state is trying to make sure that they actually don't participate in any way, shape, or form. So hopefully the latter is not true, but I do think that we can't discount the number of grassroots organizations that are in Georgia that are saying if they're going to throw out 40,000 ballots, then we just need to make sure that we get 80,000 to make sure that it's not a conversation. And we saw that in 2012.
So, Kate, and I wonder if, when I